So I just got back from seeing Terrifier 3, and that's actually a lie. I did not just get back from seeing Terrifier 3. I saw it while I was away. I saw it with somebody who's not actually that into horror films. Their genre that they love is action. But they were speaking to somebody that recommended that they go see Terrifier 3. And they randomly called me and said, hey, do you want to see this? And I was like, sure. So I went to go see it. I wasn't actually planning to see it on theaters, although I do like Art the Clown and I do like Terrifier. But I wasn't actually going to plan to see it in theaters. I figured I'd wait till it was released at home and I could watch it at home. And I actually liked the fact that I went to go see it in theaters because it was a much more enjoyable experience watching with other people, even people that didn't know what to expect. A lot of people walked out, but the theater was packed. But a lot of people did walk out. So that was interesting. And it was fun to be with fans of art or fans of the films to cheer during kills. So that was interesting. But yeah, it continues the story from Terrifier 2. It continues the story of Art the Clown, and it expands more on the story. And that was one of the biggest criticisms I had of the original or the second film. Because the first film is just like basically a slasher, except at the end you find out that he's like immortal or supernatural. And the second one, the biggest complaint I had about the second film is that I didn't know what the hell was going on. I remember I recommended the second film to my sister-in-law, and I said, you got to check this film out, but just know the story, it makes no sense whatsoever. But this movie's awesome for the gore. And so this one is better because the story starts to make some sense of the story. So that's interesting and expanding on it. And we know that now Art is a demonic entity. And I would assume that Sienna is a chosen one by, I don't know, God or something, but she's an angel. She's an angel warrior or something like that. So, okay. All right. I'll take it. Whatever you could give me, because the biggest problem I had is the second film, besides the fact that it was really long, was that I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was the significance of the sword, besides the fact that it could kill him. But you're not explaining any of these things that I want explained. I don't know what's going on in the film. But the gore was great. I love the second film for the gore. I love the first film for the gore. So in this film, the gore, is it up to par with the first two? Yes and no. Some people are going crazy and saying that there's one scene that's pretty disgusting. I will say that. And for most people, they'll say that it was so gross, because the person I saw was like, this is so gross. He liked the movie, but he was like, there's a lot of kids that die in this film. In a sense, different ways, especially it opens up from the trailer. Spoiler alert, we're gonna get to spoilers a little bit. I'm not gonna ruin the whole film, but the trailer is like the intro of the movie. And then it jumps backwards 5 years, kind of like how the second film is a flash forward and then it jumps back to the movie. And then at the end, we see what happens. So yeah, with Vicky or Victoria. So this one is a flash forward. So we see the whole trailer, the teaser trailer of Art in the Santa costume, and then we jump back 5 years to what happened at the end of the last film and how Art gets his head back, basically. So yeah, I really did like this film. And there's one scene that was a little bit, to me, it's normal. I'm sorry, I'm a weirdo, because when I grew up, I loved gore. That was one of my things in horror films. I loved gory horror films. One of my favorite horror films as a kid was Day and Dawn of the Dead, both of them, George Romero's. And I love in Day of the Dead when the zombie gets up and his intestines came out. I thought that looked so amazing and so real, and it grossed me out. And I love Tom Savini. So the gore in this is good. I think the second film has the best gore, in my opinion, to be honest. And that was all Damien Leone's special effects. In this film, he got a bigger budget. And he got a crew to do the special effects, and somehow, even though it is good. The special effects is good. I still like his versions from the first two movies, even the one with the wheel, with the girls on the wheel, and she gets sawed down the middle. They have a similar scene with this, but they up the ante. Instead of a handsaw, it's a chainsaw. Instead of a female, it's a male. So I like that. Sienna, I think, is a better actress in this film than she was in the last one. I'm glad they got away with, they got rid of Jonathan. And that's one other problem I do have with this movie, is that things happen off screen that we don't see. So I don't know if they're gonna go back to it in the next movie. Probably, maybe not. But I have heard that Damien Leone's his vision was to tell a story. He has like an end for Sienna and Art. So he said that it wasn't this film. So there could be there obviously is going to be a fourth film, but there might even be a fifth film. But the fourth film supposed to end this story. So I don't know how that's going to work. Like, it's supposed to end Art. It's not going to be about Art. So I don't know what it could be about. I have an idea in a way because of one of the characters, what happens to them. So that would be interesting. But yeah. All in all, I'm not going to spoil anything except the fact that kids die. There is a chainsaw scene, and there's another scene that's pretty gross. But I'm not going to ruin that either. People probably have already mentioned it. It involves a rat. So I'm not going to get into that. That was one that was like, oh. I was a little bit like, oh, on that one. So all in all, though, it's a really good movie. It's one of the best Christmas movies ever. Funny enough, when it started, I was watching it, and I was like, oh, no. Is this going to be a ripoff of All Through the House? One of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes, directed by Robert Zemeckis. But I think it was written by Fred Decker. I could be wrong. But it didn't necessarily did not go in that direction. It doesn't. Kind of mediocrely, but it's a cool little intro. It's a good little scene. They explain how Art gets the Santa costume later on, but I found out later on that the director was a fan. That was like one of his favorite little Christmas horror television shows or movies. You know, one of these segments. Then it's mine. It's one of my favorite too. So when I saw that, I was like, oh no, it doesn't follow the same beats, almost does, but it's better a little bit because you get to see things. It's kind of messed up, but I love this. I like this movie a lot. I honestly do. I think originally I thought, I will say the gore is not there, but that doesn't exclude it from being a better film. And it's a better film, in my opinion, than the last film. I will say that. I like it much more, but I like it better. I think it's a better film. So I'm going to give this, remarkably, the third film, 5 out of 5 stars. I wasn't planning on giving it 5 out of 5 stars, but the more I think about it, the more I really did enjoy it. The only problem I have is with the kids. Especially, there's a mall scene. I have a problem with that, in a sense, because I'm like, what? Art's doing this now? But it's whatever. Art's crazy. He's sadistic. He's a maniac. There's some cool cameos in here, at least one. And that's actually 2. The person I was with spotted the other one, and I was like, no, it's not. And then he looked him up, and it's like, yeah, he is. So I was like, oh my God. But he's known for comedy more. And the other one is known for a lot of other things. He's the famous brother. But I'm not going to spoil that either. But anyway, yes, I really enjoyed this film. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. If you can, you should definitely watch it in the theater with people. It's very enjoyable with fans, with other fans of Art the Clown. If you haven't seen any of these films, I don't think you necessarily have to, because the person I saw it with did not see the first 2, and they liked it. They were confused a little bit, but I was like, trust me, you're not that confused, because the second film was extremely confusing, and I saw the first one. The second film made no sense whatsoever. But yes, there are things that happen. That's one of the negatives. But even with that being a negative, the things that happen off screen that we don't see, I still enjoy this film. It's great, actually. I love this film. So I'm going to give this 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of the best Christmas horror films, I think, of all time. It's up there. It's one of the top 5. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do a top 5 Christmas horror films. This will be up there. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about Terrifier 3. If you like this video, hit that like button. Share this with somebody you know that might like it and enjoy it as well. And I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.